Where's my mouse? Why did you log me on Twitch?
Because it hates you.
It does.
Just as much as it
does.
just as much as it hates me.
Hey, Mimic, your voice modulator's on.
Nothing tense. Someone wants to try to kidnap Batman. Fuck.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Not much.
He is the Batman.
All right. Alright, why is this? I'm not gonna do that. That's fine.
You didn't poison it, did you?
No, no, don't do that. God bless it. Go away.
Yeah, sorry about the voice thing. I was playing Dark Tide and fucked somebody in the voice chat.
Oh, let's see here. Alright, yeah, so we can talk about that too. Because it's definitely a
fucking
beta.
people in the voice chat?
Yeah, they got in-game voice chat. I just set my voice changer as the basic one and kept the keybind. So if you get a mouthy guy in the group who just wants to talk over everything, I just start changing my voice and tell him to fuck himself, basically.
And it's like right after you said you fucked somebody in the voice chat, so it's just I thought that was funny.
Alright.
Okay, never mind.
DSP, where you at? Oh.
Nowhere important. I mean, really, truly.
Alright.
Shit.
Are we good?
I think so.
Alright. Hopefully the music doesn't drown out. For some reason, it's not letting me control the volume on that individually. Oh well. Let's go. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Griffcast, episode 62, the mature nerdy podcast for immature people, the show where we talk about any and all things nerd, from video games, comic books, movies, computer technology, and or science, up to and including why the hell did I get up from my nap for this shit. Welcome to the show.
Yo, man, that shit hits true tonight.
I love it.
That shit hits true, man. I was fucking passed out, and I was like, I wasn't gonna make it, man. I was like,
Yeah, it was like,
you'll be right.
yeah, it was like 4:45 local, and I'm just sitting there going like, I'm just like roll over and look at it. It's like, I'm supposed to be doing something today. What the hell was it?
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
And see,
Oh.
I planned my day around it because I planned to go grocery shopping before so I could get back in time and get a couple of games of Dark Tide in before we started.
Oh man. Well, yeah. So anybody who was looking for an episode last week, we did not have one last week. We had a little bit of scheduling conflicts here, and also, we had some near medical emergencies on my side. Nothing major, but let's just say the flu in an infant is not fun.
Flu is not fun, period.
Yeah, let's say.
Yeah, like she had it bad enough that she was. You guys know what Zofran is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the anti-puke medication. She was puking through
Mhm.
that.
Oof.
So
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that's nothing, man. I've had hangovers that I was puking through Zofran.
well, that's self-induced.
What's a hangover?
Self-induced.
Hangover, are those the thing that you weaker people get? Is that what that is?
Hey! You have to have a soul to have it, you ginger bastard.
You come with the heat. He's gonna
Shots fired.
Speaking of hangover, I almost had one the other day. That was weird. I haven't had one in like 10 years.
You said
I was
anger problems?
huh? Hangover.
You said anger Oh, hangover. Yeah, it's been a good amount of time since I've had a hangover. It's because I be responsible now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I've just
Yeah.
changed my body. I just drink so much that I'm like perpetually drunk. So
You basically told your liver to get in line or die.
Yeah. Either we're gonna do this, or I'm gonna do this without you.
All right. So, things doing this week. I had some time. I hopped into Pokemon Scarlet. Hopped into Dark Tide for a little bit. Apparently, Mimic did as well. And then I hopped back into a game that I absolutely love, and I hate that I love the game so much. Is Maneater. That game is so damn good.
I just found out I could do pop outs. Discord, so I can have this over here, but then I can still. People are still hitting me up on Discord, and I'm like, yeah, I want to talk to you too.
Also, I would like to point out that today's episode is once again sponsored by Solves Fanaron. Check them out as no affiliation on SoundCloud. But yeah, no. So let's just let's jump into this because we got some shit to talk about. All right. So first things first, Dark Tide.
Wait, I was cutting you off. You were talking about Maneater. That's my fault.
Oh,
I
man.
wanted to hear you talk about Maneater because I enjoyed
Oh.
that game so much too.
It's a damn good game. Like it is. You play as a shark. It is a shark RPG.
So much fun. Getting
Yeah,
turtles. I loved getting turtles.
Yeah, nice little sounding crunch every time you come across them. I'm at the point now where I'm taking on sperm whales, and I just started playing again last night. So, like the game's not long. You can probably knock out the entire campaign in like 10 to 12 hours. They just came out with the DLC about 6 months ago, which I haven't actually had a chance to play yet, which I'm trying to get to now.
Was it free?
No,
Damn, that's why.
but
I
if
picked
you
it up
have,
when it was.
yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, I picked it up when it was the PlayStation Plus game of the month.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I do believe that Maneater is free if you have Xbox Game Pass, and I believe it was at one point one of the free games on PlayStation Plus.
It was because that's how I grabbed it. But it's on Game Pass.
Yep.
I might start it over, but I don't want
Yeah.
to start it over.
Hey, you could play it on PC on Game Pass.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like get your 120 FPS and all that other bullshit. But yeah, so it's basically a shark simulator, a shark simulator.
Because your FPS is so important when you're having a shark simulator.
You'd be surprised. Now,
I mean, not gonna lie, it was like one of the first games that I played on PS5, and I was like, "Ooh, look at these frames."
yeah,
Really
I played
good.
it. I played it the first time I had COVID, and like that was back when you had to like quarantine for 2 weeks, and so I played through that and Valhalla, it's fun. It's you play a mutant shark, and your basic entire your entire thing is to run around just like pissed off shark hunters. There's not a lot to it, but it's fun. You start off as a little baby shark in the bayou, and you just run around trying to snack on catfish, and then you're trying to become a megalodon, basically. It's fun. The entire purpose is to eat shit. So I relate to the main character.
I didn't know you liked sushi, but hey.
I do actually. I do. I don't do octopus, but everything else.
Oh, come on.
Dude, like I can't do.
Just throw a little hot sauce on it. You good?
Nah, man. I don't do tuna flavored bubblegum. Like,
I will.
They don't make enough hot sauce for that, man.
all right, now Pokemon Scarlet. I haven't beat it yet. I'm a good chunk into it. I've knocked out like 6 of the 8 original first gems. I'm not nowhere near the Elite Four yet. They have all kinds of other side crap you can do. Their take on open world is the fact that you can go anywhere. Doesn't mean you can do shit when you get there. You assume open world, it's like, things level with you. No, they don't. It's, hey, you need to go to this area because you're not level enough to go to that area you want to go to yet. So it's still linear, but open world.
What open world games used to be in the past?
Huh?
That's how open world games used to be in the past.
Yeah, I'm like saying that reminds me of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Also,
but it's, you can go anywhere if you can get there. I mean, a lot of things are cut off by your mount.
Well, see, I understand I have a unique experience with Skyrim and all of everybody else, but like, if you wander too far in Skyrim, you will get found by something that will eat your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember the first time I went, Skyborn, because I turned the wrong corner and found a giant.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's exactly how open world games used to be, and I think they're like how they still are.
Yeah.
Like it'd be sectioned into maps, and you'd see, it'd say level, 6 through 10.
That's the thing, though.
Or
It doesn't tell you that.
2 through 22. Oh.
It doesn't tell you that at all. It
just
it
gotta
doesn't
figure
tell
it
you.
out.
Yeah, you just gotta figure it out. You gotta
To be
go
fair,
there. Get your
Witcher
shit
3 was
pushed in.
like that.
So they've injected just a little bit of Dark Souls into their open world dogfighting game.
Basically. And then also the glitches in it are, let's just put it this way. Pokemon Sword and Shield came out 5 years ago? That game looks better and plays better.
That's some sharp words right there.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, it's too common nowadays, though. Like, you see a sequel and you're like, who made this shit?
yeah, like you would think that Game Freak would have their shit in order. And it's not. There's no like game breaking glitches. It's all graphical issues. Like the draw distance is absolutely horrible. I am playing on an OG Switch, so I don't know if it's different on an OLED. But yeah, the draw distance, absolutely horrible. You'll be seeing something, it's like, and you start running towards it, and then everything spawns in front of you. And it's like, oh, well, what the hell? If you get 10 feet away from an NPC, they start walking like Gumby. It's for, us old folks who understand what that is. The half the camera angles in the battle cause screen tearing. So
Man, it's never good.
yeah, so like if you have a larger Pokemon, the camera will pan down halfway down, and then you'll just see open air below them. It's like, the fuck. Playability wise, it still plays fine. It is a Pokemon game. If you enjoy Pokemon games, you'll enjoy this one. But if you want your games to work 100% properly, wait. It's gotten so bad that Nintendo, the anti-refund company, is refunding people for this game.
Oh,
I heard that. It's like,
That's
whoa.
saying something.
Yeah.
okay.
But they're also on record saying that they haven't heard enough excuses to patch it yet. So they're offering refunds,
Wait a minute.
but they're like, it still works, so we're not patching it yet.
I mean,
Isn't that just like a normal thing? Like when you launch a game, like you immediately start working on patches and fixes?
Apparently not Game Freak.
Typically, you would think.
I mean, we're talking about we're talking about a Nintendo Switch game here, so it's designed to work regardless of where you are or internet connectivity.
Well, what's this idea that like, oh, we're not finished, ship it, we'll patch it in a download. Like it used to be, you got the disc and the disc had the game and that was it. You didn't get a second chance. You were done.
And well, that's the way Switch typically works. Is like the patches were optional thing later down the road. Like if you had access to internet, you could patch your game if something was broken on the launch. Like I said, nothing is broken, but it's pretty broken.
Even just in the sense of like screen tearing. Like I can understand some screen tearing if you're really pushing something in like an engine or something, or you're trying something new and things kind of like I forgive those. But it's a Pokemon game. How the hell do you have a screen tear on that?
Yeah. So
I mean, is it pushing graphical fidelity that hard in this game? Like, can you count the tick on the back of Pikachu's back?
I mean,
no. Like I said, Sword and Shield look better. Sword and Shield look better, and play better. But one thing though that they added into this one that I thought was, hey. One thing that they added into this one that I really enjoyed is they added an auto battling system. So anybody who's played the Pokemon games before, you have to like run up and manually engage in every single thing to level up. You don't have to do that anymore. Now you can just now you can just you see all the Pokemon as you're walking around. Like they're all on screen unless they're like this fucking big and you're playing handheld, which sucks. But all you gotta do is just you hit R1 or sorry, what's the switch word? R1. I'm a fucking console main, not that. Anyway.
They right bumper?
Yeah, is that it? RB? Yeah. So, but the auto battling system, they also penalize you for using the auto battling system a little bit too, which I thought was kind of cool. All right, so auto battling. If you see a Pokemon, you can send your number one Pokemon out to run out and do his thing. He will sit there and continuously chase down absolutely everything that's within range of him. And they have full experience share, so everybody in your party gets experience regardless of what happens. So that's awesome. Here's the penalties and the drawbacks of auto leveling. When you're auto battling, if you hit level enough to evolve one of your Pokemon, it won't evolve. You actually have to go into another battle, an actual manual battle, for your shit to actually evolve. Not a bad drawback. You know,
yeah, not bad.
And then, you know, the other drawback is if you are a shiny collector, you're never going to see what a shiny is.
A what now?
So,
Shiny.
Yeah, Pokemon, they have a new thing where you'll find one with a rare skin on it. So like Charizard, it will be black.
I want a black Charizard.
Bro, it's dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Like Clefairy is just more pink. There's some that are just bad.
And then isn't Ponyta's instead of the blue? Isn't it instead of the red flames? It's a blue flame.
No, that's the no, that's not a shiny. That's just an alternate version from a different region. I don't want to speak too much out of my ass on that one. It's not Hoenn. God, that's gonna drive me nuts now.
All I know is I remember capturing 3 of them bad boys.
Yeah, it's just an alternate version from a different region. Because that version is no longer fire; it's ice. Like Gyarados. If you catch a shiny Gyarados, it's red. Yeah. Like
are there different versions of shinies, or is it just like once there's one, it's just one shiny, just like an alternate?
As far as I know, there's only like one shiny, but every region also has an alternate version of an original Pokemon. And like in this one of the OG Pokemon's Mankey. So it goes Mankey to Primate. OG Pig Monkey. Like, I love that thing. It's a fighting type. In this one, there's an alternate evolution where it's like, what's it called? Like Primal Ape or something like that. And like, it's just, it looks like, it looks like just an angry ball of fur. It looks pretty cool, but So there's all kinds of, anyway, getting off topic here. So yeah, pros and cons. Like if you do the auto battling system, you're going to miss out on shinies. I don't personally care too much for shinies. If I see one, happy days. If not, I don't care. And then one of the cons, there was another con to the game that I'm trying to remember what it was. Anyway, I mean overall, like if you enjoy Pokemon games, you'll enjoy it. It's just one of those. How much are you going to enjoy it because of graphical errors? If you don't mind graphical errors all the time and you just get used to it, you won't even notice it anymore. I was playing through it just because it was all I had on the Switch at the time. I didn't take any physical games with me. I just downloaded it and went to the hospital with my daughter. So yeah, that's just the way I played it. And then, all right. So me and Mimic are going to talk about Darktide. So, Darktide, it is not out yet. It comes out, what?
The 30th.
Is it the 30th? All right.
Yes. So,
if you pre-order it, you get early access. Early access is actually technically closed beta. So, a lot of the stuff that I was doing when I was doing it last week, there was no loot, there was no cosmetics, there was no nothing like that. But gameplay-wise, it was a freaking blast. Like, hands down, it's 40k Vermintide. So, so anybody who doesn't know what Darktide is a first-person action RPG in the Warhammer 40k universe. And it is basically the successor to Warhammer Vermintide.
If you play making Warhammers, how are they already on 40,000?
All right, so if you are a game company, like if you want to make a Warhammer game, you can make one. That's just the way they work. Like they have no barrier of entry. You just have to show up and get the lore right, or right-ish, and they don't care.
Yeah, and they don't, as long as you're close, like they don't give two shits at all. Because they're all about how over the top can we make this shit. Because like the evil deities are actually the good guys in the universe.
So as you're playing this, like there's a difference between Vermintide and this that I noticed. Vermintide has better visibility because the atmosphere on this is so dark.
I can see that in some levels, but if you're down like the cave levels in Vermintide,
oh, not the cave levels, but like the outdoor levels, like the trench levels and stuff like that. The visibility is way different. Like in this, there is never the moment where you're like, oh, I can see pretty well. Like it's usually, I can sort of see something moving, but that doesn't detract from the fact that the game is atmospheric as fuck, because every time you turn around, there's this diseased, rotting, zombie-looking thing with a piece of metal trying to cut you in half. You're like, oh shit!
Yeah.
And you want to like cut it in half first. So it does its job, but I don't want to play the ranged class at all because I'm like, I can't see anything to shoot it, so why the fuck do I have a gun?
I tried a couple of the classes, and I like the Ogren, but every time I played an Ogren, I was in a party of 4 other Ogren, and it's just like you couldn't see anything because everybody filled up the hallways.
Damn. See, I've never had that. Like, I've had a group where I play Ogren a lot, so like I'm having a group where I play the Ogren, and like there's 3 veterans, and I'm like, why are you all ranged? And like there's just 3 guys in the back just with las gun.
See, I'm like, I actually really enjoyed the preacher. Is it the zealot?
I like them. The zealot preacher or something like that. Yeah, they're. I don't find them as fun because like their whole build is you got to have like half your life missing to be able to do anything, and I'm like, it doesn't seem like a great way to live.
It's not. It's just a failsafe of I play better the worse I play.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I was playing, I don't know when you played last. Have they added in? I saw they patched it. So have they added in loot yet?
Oh yeah, like there's loot in there.
Okay.
There's a crafting system you can get into pretty early. So the crafting system works.
All right, so I'm gonna hop back on that then. Yeah, because that comes out in 3 days.
Yeah. And they don't know if they're gonna if you're gonna be able to keep your beta characters or not. They don't know. They're gonna try, but if they can't, sorry. That's what they've kind of come out with.
Yeah, so but they've been saying, I mean, if they don't patch in the next 2 days, then we're good.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things that do need some patching. There, you can tell that there's some issues with connectivity sometimes, and you can tell that there's like the enemies pop in a little bit, like there, and it's not like your graphics is doing or my graphics is doing. They literally just appear because the system is like, oh, the enemies need to be here, and it's trying to catch up with you because there's a lot of like desyncing.
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to fix that. So like, I'm sure that's going to be the big patch from the launch patch.
Can we talk about how fast you fill your pants when you come around the corner and there's like an enemy ogre?
That depends on what I'm playing. What are you playing?
Because I can't tell you how many times like everybody be running down a hallway. I'm like, dude, there's a hallway here. What's back here? Let's go check this shit out. And I'll walk around the hallway and there's just one of those. I'm just like, oh my.
Yeah, looks like that shit from Moria with a big spiky shield and it's coming for your ass and you're just like, oh god.
Yeah, and they run faster than you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but like I have seen those guys. Like I play the Ogren most of the time, so it's like, oh, one of me, someone I don't have to aim down to hit. Which I have to say that's a problem when you're playing the Ogren because you're so much taller than everybody else. You have to literally angle down to be able to hit shit, so you can't see what's coming at you.
I tell you what, though, it makes it really easy to get headshots with the knife.
That's true.
All right, so yeah, Pokemon Scarlet. General consensus: if you like Pokemon games, you'll like it. If you really dislike screen tearing and all that, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem. Check out Maneater. Fantastic game. Very short. Like, I think if you get it on Game Pass, I think it's like $35 with the DLC. Worth every penny. Or if you get it on, if you get it on Game Pass, you can play it for free on Game Pass plus $15 for the DLC, or you could pay like $35 on everything.
I was just looking at it. I think it's on sale actually. Oh, let's go back. Sorry. We don't have to talk about it.
And then Warhammer Dark Tide. It's a blast to play. There's a little bit of repetitiveness to it, but you kind of get that with those games.
If you enjoy a horde mode game in any capacity, you will enjoy this game.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hoping
it's going to launch it's got a good launch coming if this is what we get. But if it's anything like Vermintide, they're going to patch in new weapons, new abilities, new levels. So stay in for the ride, and you're going to get a whole lot more.
What did assuming since that you've been in the beta, you pre-ordered. What did you pre-order it on?
Steam.
Awesome. We'll hit you up after we close this out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hop into this next topic here.
I have a question about pre-orders.
What's up?
Sorry. Is there a way that I can pre-order the game, like digitally, but then also cancel my pre-order?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Or you can wait 3 days and play it for free on Game Pass.
Oh, wait, this game's coming to Game Pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, day one.
Yep.
What? And then y'all paid for it though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't. I mean, just because it's on Game Pass doesn't mean it will be on Game Pass.
Yeah, but it might stay there a while, but it is going onto the Windows Store, so I assume it's going to be there a long time.
It doesn't say it's in the coming soon to Game Pass.
Not.
What's showing up on the Windows Store that they've said a couple of times that it's going to be on Game Pass day one.
Yeah, it was on their main page, but if not, check it out.
But yeah, especially games when you're really going to put a lot of hours into them. Game Pass is great to spend like a little bit of money and like try them all out. But if you're going to spend a ton of hours into a game, pay the guy who made it. Give them a little bit of money. Yeah, I mean, you're literally just paying them for all the hours you put into it instead of paying a little bit to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I was looking for because I want to play the beta. Just get my. Well, I mean, if it wasn't coming to Game Pass, but play the beta. Want to get in on the beta and play it a little bit because that's the only way that I supported GameStop. When GameStop, when games were having, if you pre-order the game, you get the beta code and everything. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I would pre-order a game, and as soon as I get the beta code from the printed receipt of pre-order, and I was like, can I get my money back, please? Then I saw the beta code, so all right, thanks, good luck.
I mean, that's all I needed.
All right,
That's
so
on GameStop. They kept doing that stuff to themselves. So
fair enough. I mean, not the brightest of companies.
I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter.
So we're going to talk about ethics here for a second. I don't know how I feel about this. I am for and against this. All right, so apparently Mark Zuckerberg has warned not to screenshot your Facebook chats. Apparently they're going to be implementing a new feature that if you screenshot something, it will either A, fade, or B, notify the person that you screenshotted it from.
I kind of thought that it already did that.
Not now. I'm not currently. I screenshot shit all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Screenshot it, hold on to it, use it for ammo for later.
yep. Well, now it's going to tell the people that you're holding ammo on.
you sound like a girl I used to date. I'm gonna hang on to it and remind you later.
It's like you're just like having a conversation with somebody. You're like, no, I never said that. You know, like, oh no, you definitely said it. And like you're still like, no, I never said it. And you also notification screenshot.
This is the dude that has literal receipts. Like you get into a conversation he doesn't like, and he just pulls like a fucking scrapbook out. It's like, nah, remember what you said.
No, but like you're just like in the middle of having a conversation with somebody, so they immediately scroll back up, and then you get a notification that like in the middle of the conversation, so you just be like,
Yep.
Okay, maybe
Yep.
I know
I don't
somebody
send
like
nobody nothing that I don't want them showing everybody else because that's the way you have to consider the internet.
fair,
this. Yep.
very fair. even if it's point-to-point encryption, at some point it might get out.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm iffy on this one because it's a slight. Is it invasion of privacy? Like it's not really an invasion of privacy. Because
Well,
that
also
is
depends. Like it depends on the context of the conversation. Because just taking photos or recording or something of the conversation doesn't necessarily mean it's an invasion.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about that is like that's a private conversation, so therefore you are 50% of the conversation. Therefore, you have a right to record it.
Right.
Indeed, you do.
It's part of your right.
That depends on your state. Some states will tell you no.
I think one thing I'll say to add to that is that if you're trying to have a truly private conversation, then don't talk on Facebook.
Well, there's that, but
I mean, I'm just saying there's a very simple solution to this.
What happened to the good old days when people used to actually meet face to face?
Those days are gone.
Yeah, long
Isn't that
gone.
illegal now?
This is about as face to face you're allowed to get anymore in public. I kind of prefer this though. It's like I don't have to put on pants.
What if they're tired of getting rid of what am I trying to say? Store data, because like you can go scroll back through your Facebook notification or your Facebook messages from like people like years ago. All that shit's still there. And you have to think about like how many people are using Facebook Messenger every day, just sending messages.
Yeah.
And so they're like
Like
the messages will fade away.
Yeah, I know a couple people. That's the only way they talk. They won't text and they won't call, but you can message them on Facebook and they'll answer right away. And then I have other people who refuse to use Facebook and will only text. And then I have other people who refuse to do everything but talk on the phone. And then it's just like, you want me to put in effort here?
Yeah, I used to be the anti-text guy, and then I was like, damn, this is easy. Now I'm the anti-call guy. So, I evolved.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like texting. I mean, I have an Android, so I'm about to shoot myself in the foot a little bit with this one, especially with my hate for Apple. I mean, I like texting, then I noticed, Facebook, allows you to react to stuff and reply to messages directly, so I started doing that. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then Discord came along, and now, I use most of my communication on Discord. Now I have more reactions, more emojis. I'm sending gifts. I can send shrugs.
Yeah, we need a Discord phone.
A Discord phone.
Well,
downloading the app is not enough. You need
if you believe the bullshit that's been going on this week, Elon Musk might make his own damn phone.
Well, I don't think it's gonna go that far. I really don't think it.
I don't think it will, but I think, of anybody on the planet, he's the only one that can unzip, drop it on the table, and go, call my bluff.
I mean, well, he's done it twice.
Yeah.
They're all like, hey, all that money you could use to save the world, or end world hunger. And he donated that effing money. He didn't do it publicly. He donated that effing money. Like, yeah, for $6 billion, you could save, you can end world hunger. And he goes, all right, here's $6 billion. At first, he was like, show me how, and I'll give you the money. And then he gave him the money anyway. They don't talk about that shit. And then he's like, you know what? Twitter, cut out your shit or I'm going to buy you. And he fucking bought him. But there was that whole issue with him going, all right, show me like what your actual user base is like and, how many bots you have. And they're like, no. And he goes, all right, well then I'm not going to buy you. And then they're like, you have to now. And he's like, all right, fine, fuck it, I will. And then he's just out there just nonstop.
Good to go, bud.
Just nonstop.
Well, I legitimately think from the way they were acting at first, they pushed back on it, like, we're not going to sell, go away. They tried everything they could to kick him out. And then all of a sudden, it was like overnight, everybody was like, you're going to take this fucking money or we're going to kill all of it. I think that was the conversation that somebody's hedge fund had with them behind closed doors.
That's a lot
because
of money.
It was. Like,
well, it wasn't even
went,
that. It was like $20 a share over value.
Yeah, he bought it.
Yes.
What? It was valued at like, what, $9 billion, but he bought it for 44?
Yeah, it was something stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah, he overpaid his ass off. And every hedge fund that was invested in them was, you're going to take this money and you're going to shut up. And they're like, no, we're not selling to this guy. And they're like, you're going to take the money
Think
and
about
shut up.
Stupid rich you're going to fucking be. You're just going to be dumb rich.
Well, yeah, then he goes in there and he goes, oh, yeah, so this is why Twitter's losing money. And he's all like, hey, look, they have 77,000 employees that don't do shit.
Yeah, they had between the employees and the contractor, they had like 11,000 employees at Twitter.
Yeah.
Between, actual employees and contract. They're down to less than 2,000 now, and it ain't exploded yet.
Yeah. Hey, it's gonna die. Twitter's over. It's all over.
If anything, there have been more posts on Twitter and showing that it's doing just fine.
Yep.
There's been
But
more
now,
interactions
he's gonna
and
be
more
firing
daily
everybody.
users that
Yep.
in every metric that they've ever tried to use as a success for that platform, he's kicking their ass.
Yep.
Well, you
And
can't
they're
say
like,
you
"Oh,
can't
it's
say
gonna
more
die."
users because I know a couple celebrities that left Twitter because he had bought it.
Okay, a couple of celebrities left Twitter. How many thousands of people came back? It's like, wait, I got my account back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nobody.
Actually-
All right, I'm going to say something that nobody wants to say. Nobody cares about a celebrity. You can go wherever, Mastodon or whatever. You can scream into the void. We're more important than you on a social media platform. Have a good day.
Actually, I think Twitter is still kind of off the hinges because one of my favorite comics that I like to follow, he kind of just got the permanent boot off of Twitter. They're like, yeah, your account's been permabanned. he posted it on Facebook. I don't want to drop his name. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know how to say his last name.
All right, you got to
I'll
take this
go
up
this
with
way.
that one because, like,
Okay, he's one of the Cyanide and Happiness.
Really?
comics.
Oh, okay.
really, how the? Well, I mean, Cyanide and Happiness. So,
Yeah, their comics are wild. And he usually doesn't give a fuck. He was getting banned on Facebook all the time. It's just like,
dude, like their YouTube channel, like I used to like spend hours there. They're like just Cyanide and Happiness is so freaking great. It was like, the PG-13
Beautiful.
Happy Tree Friends,
it's not PG-13 anymore.
I mean, they're the last ones that can get away with.
Ooh. You heard that,
Okay.
Shane?
I didn't hear people come home, and then like I just see movement out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, what the? I was,
Dude, man, that gets me all the time. With my setup, it's like pointing towards the back wall. Like even like when we started this, I was just like, man, I should turn my alarm on for no reason. Just turn my alarm on.
all right,
I got
so-
dogs. Nobody creeps up on me.
I got dogs too, but one dog is too friendly. He's too friendly. Like he could watch me get murdered and still be like, "Are you gonna take me home now? Are you now my new dad? Yeah, this is so great. This is awesome."
All right,
But
so
the second dog, he's very vocal. Like as soon as someone touches the property, he's like, "Motherfucker, you're not supposed to be here." Like he's giving me my package. Yeah, but you're not supposed to be here. How am I supposed to get my package then? He's like, "I don't know. Figure it the fuck out. Go somewhere else. Take that shit somewhere else."
also where I say,
all right, so
You in the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
Is this a wait and see kind of thing though for the screenshot on Facebook thing? Is this a wait and see how bad this is going to be?
I think it's a wait and see. I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna say wait and see.
I don't think they're actually gonna even implement these features. People are probably gonna
all right, if you're sending really intimate photos back and forth on an app, that's on your ass. But nobody should be screenshotting that, right?
No, that's exactly what you're supposed to screenshot.
How are you supposed to get those intimate photos? Through text? Text or WhatsApp? I mean, that's an app. You can't do that. Email?
I'm so glad I skipped this entire version of dating. Like, I didn't have to deal with this. Thank God.
You can probably just save them to a Google Cloud account and then tell the person you want to send the news to log.
Don't you just text it to people? I remember we used to email it to each other because nobody had text. Tags were 15 cents a piece before you sent the photo, man. Nobody wasn't doing that. Boobs weren't worth that much.
Speak for yourself, man.
I already paid for internet. I'm not going to spend 15 cents on a text message so I can get some titties.
You said 15 cents per text. That's before you sent the picture.
Yeah, I remember those days. That's my age, man.
It was worth it. Anywho,
Mimics were there waiting by the fax machine, watching the fax come through. Ooh, oh, I can see a little bit.
When we used to be kids and you'd watch the Scramble channel and you're like, I think I can see a nipple.
Ooh,
oh,
right there.
How the hell am I picking up cable on my antenna? Awesome. HBO at 2 a.m. Anywho,
Skinamax, baby.
Oh my goodness.
This is mature.
Hey, mature nerdy podcast, bro.
Look, sometimes we switch into nostalgia mode and we just talk about the dumb shit we did when we was kids and people are like, how are you alive?
oh, all right. So
they brought us harder back then. What can I tell you?
There were no safety rails on anything.
yeah, we didn't have websites. We had National Geographic.
Yeah, you come home bloody and bleeding, then he'd look at you like, does it hurt? Yeah. Good. Don't bleed on my rug. And that's all you got,
That phrase, rub some dirt on it.
Yep. All right. Secretly, what the hell? My captures just flew across the freaking desk. So secretly, but not so secretly, Johnny Depp is returning as Jack Sparrow.
We're only on number 3, and we are 45 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna start skipping through here a little bit.
Huh?
I think we all saw the Johnny Depp thing coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
After
Because they tried to blackball him, and then oh no, she was the one pooping in the bed, and
when there's a meme that literally it starts with shit the bed, why would you do that?
But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, we all saw that. Even if Johnny Depp was guilty, everyone loves Johnny Depp. Even in the public eye. I mean, I guess we can say that because we all knew that he wasn't in the wrong. Never mind. I take that statement completely back. Yeah, if we knew that he was in the wrong, then probably people wouldn't like him as much.
Oh yeah, no,
everyone loved Johnny Depp going into this, coming out of it.
Knew, man. Nobody would believe for a minute that he would do that. Even other people that knew him are his exes were no, he wouldn't do that. Yeah. Whose ex-wife is going to come out and defend you?
This motherfucker took half of my money, even though he was making more than me. But he wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah. All right, so.
But we knew he was going to come back when we heard that. I mean, I don't care how rich you are. Just like with the Twitter thing, you gonna take this money.
So this is something
also one of those roles that he just can't escape.
Yeah.
Well, he also, what did he say? He wasn't going to come back for even $300 million. And I'm sitting here going, was that him just saying, you assholes are going to pay me what she couldn't?
No, I think he kind of meant it at the time. I think he really did mean it at the time. And like Saab says, it's not a role that he could turn down. It's a role that he said it during the process, when Disney snubbed him. He was just I can't believe they did this to me. I put so much of my own time and like so much effort into this character, like because what he portrayed as Jack Sparrow is the complete opposite of what Disney and everyone wanted. Like I remember like just hearing interviews and like he was just like, I was on screen, I was on set, and I was doing my thing, and everyone was like, no, what the fuck are you doing? This is wrong. He's like, shut the fuck up, I'm Johnny Depp, trust me. And he went through and he knocked that shit out of the park. And now they're just like, all right, cool, good to go. Because yeah, they Disney's earlier concept of Jack Sparrow was the complete opposite. He was supposed to be a hard ass evil.
I would be interested to see what his payday is for this, for him to come back. I want to know what the figure is, because I'm sure
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think this was about the money. I think this was more or less his devotion to the character, and his devotion to the fans. Like,
but I think
even if they paid him $50 million, he'd still come back for it.
Yeah.
No, I think they gave him the $300 million.
It would make the rest of us feel a little better about it too, you know, because like, if they come out and they say, well, he's got a 1% investment in the box office, people are going to go out and buy 2 tickets, just because they're like, oh, well, some of this is going to Johnny, I can spare an extra ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if they come out with a preview for the next Pirates and Johnny's back, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I think the report said that I think the report said that he accepted the $300 million.
But it was like I think it was more dedication to the fans and the character than the actual money itself.
Yeah. I take the money too. I think it's also because the early reports, like as the trials were ending, they sent him this offer and he rejected. He's like, I can't go back, right? But I think he reconsidered. He said he's going to do it. But the offer was not only just for this one movie, but it's also, I think they were trying to create a TV series as well, and for him to be in the TV series. So it's not.
Well,
just
I mean, a Jack Sparrow Disney Plus show would actually draw some butts onto that platform. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the recent TV shows that they put in, I'm not going to talk about the Marvel stuff. We ain't going. But like the Tim Allen Santa Claus show has been pretty good.
Oh yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, that was really good.
It was really good, but it was also so unnecessary. And like, I watched it.
It only works for them because they are unnecessary. But I think that's part of the gag.
The thing is, though, like, as kind of small scale as it was, they introduced a very pivotal plot point, which I did not like. Because now you're gonna be watching like future Guardians of the Galaxy and things, like, because not everyone's gonna watch the holiday special, but they're gonna watch Guardians of Volume 3, and it introduces such a strong plot point. You're gonna be like, whoa, wait, when the fuck did that happen?
Well, I mean, if you don't care about Thor and you care about the Guardians, you still got to go watch Love and Thunder to catch your Guardians fic.
They didn't play that much of a role. They're only in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Like, if you've got 2
Speaking
movies,
of Thor, have you seen this stuff with Chris Hemsworth recently?
Yeah, where he said you're going to do the character justice or I ain't coming back. He's pulling a Cavill.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Good on him.
thing.
Yeah. He's like, we don't need this Thor anymore. We need to go back to the dark storyline of Thor and leave all of this, bright neon crap out of the Thor movies.
I thought you were talking about the other thing. So yeah, I did see that he also thinks that they might kill off his Thor within the next couple of years. Like if he has another solo movie, he thinks he's gonna die off. I thought you were talking about the other thing where he says he's taking a break from acting.
I haven't seen that.
I did see that.
Y'all didn't hear about this. I mean, wow, yes.
I saw that he was doing like a survival show, Limitless or something like that.
Yeah, so he had the show Limitless, which it's kind of like a scientific show. Like it goes through like a lot of science. I think I haven't watched it. I don't know too much about it, but I know there's one piece about it. So Limitless, like he's going like to other places on the world doing like crazy things. I mean, I wouldn't like say like crazy stunts, but he does like a few crazy stunts. But also learning about nature, learning about the way the world, learning about science. Anyway, he took a scientific test, and he has like 2 of the predominant genes or proteins or just something. So he has a very high likelihood of developing Alzheimer's. So he says he's going to take a break from acting to digest that and be with his family.
Okay.
It's not guaranteed that he's going to get it. It's just high likelihood.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot more common these days. Speaking of which, am I the only person in existence who thought Gary Oldman was dead?
Yes.
Yes. The
I
Mad
remember-
King. What are you talking about?
I remember, like, I'm sitting here going, like, oh, well, you know, Gary Oldman, like, this would be a great role for him, but, you know, he's... You're gonna put a pickle on the tree?
Don't. Pickles are delicious. Do not waste a pickle on that tree. You better eat
Hey,
that pickle.
hey! You gotta put some.
Come on, Wild. Tell me. Tell me you want to put your pickle on the tree. Say it for
It's
me.
a tradition. Oh,
Yeah.
Say it slow.
Anywho, but I remember reading an article that, you know, oh no, Gary Oldman has passed away. And then all of a sudden I saw, like, yeah, we were just doing an interview with Gary Oldman. I'm like, wait, what?
He's back from the dead.
no.
Hold up.
I mean, he's back, but not the way he says he's going to retire from acting as well.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm like 65 years old. I'm gonna be 70 soon. Like, no, I'm like, I might take 1 or 2 more roles and then I'm done.
You don't want to be Sean Connery, like going into your 90s, like trying to finish it out.
But I
Actually,
don't know why.
Sean Connery-
Sean Connery finished it out with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No,
Which
he
isn't
didn't.
severely
That was
underrated.
his last movie. That was his last
Yeah.
role.
Was it
It was a
really?
good movie.
Yes.
It was a great movie.
Was it really? There's no way.
That is his very last movie. After that, he gave it up and retired.
Help me. I mean, the movie was.
It was
The movie was
underrated.
the movie was so terrible that it was good and underrated. It,
Yeah.
that was
And I
come
like
on, that was
that
a
movie.
bad movie.
Yeah,
But it was
and I like
also
the
such
movie
a
because,
good movie.
like,
I love watching it.
at the time, I couldn't imagine how do you introduce a group of people in a movie any better than that?
They did a good. Yeah, it was the
Because you
original-
got 2 hours to work with, and you got to
So right.
introduce 6 people. Son of a bitch! How the hell are you going to do that?
I was really hoping for another one though.
Yeah,
Me too.
I'm not gonna
Like,
because
lie.
I know it
it's an
did-
entire comic book
well,
line.
I know that people like dig on that fucking movie all the time. I like that.
I do too. Like I try to watch it like at least once every other year.
So when did he have? Yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I guess that's a TV series documentary. That's a documentary, and then that's
Alright.
That was in
Really?
2003. That was his last one.
damn.
All right, so
All right, well played, sir. Well played.
all right, now this is something I never thought I'd see coming. So Blizzard has not been able to renew their contract with Tencent, meaning that all of their support for everything except for Diablo Immortal is getting shut down. World of Warcraft shut down. Overwatch
Wait, what?
shut down.
What?
Yeah. Diablo 3 shut down.
I'm surprised you guys haven't heard about this. This is
Yeah.
it's big.
That's it.
What?
Is it
World
because
of
of, is it because of,
Warcraft.
is it because of the Microsoft
Everything.
purchase? Is it
Huh?
because of the
No.
Microsoft-
No, it's because Blizzard cannot come to an agreement with Tencent on their contract on running their games in China. Tencent handles all of the international contracts for video game entertainment in China.
If you want to publish anything in China, you have to employ a Chinese company to be part of your company to distribute it. So they have to pair with Tencent or another Chinese company in order to distribute their games. And if Tencent won't sign off on it, the game gets pulled.
Yep.
But they have an agreement with somebody else for Diablo Immortal, so that's still on
Yeah.
the table because
That was
that's
with
another pre-existing.
NetEase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's got the green light. That's fine. But the other games, like their signer, their licensee, going away.
Yep. So, and this is crazy too because Blizzard kowtowed to a lot of China rules. Like all of the in China, if you have an undead, you cannot be showing bone. The Pandaren race was banned in China. I think they eventually brought that one in, but originally, like, the Pandaren race was banned in China. So there was an entire expansion that they had to completely remake just for China. This last expansion was all about the afterlife, and so like half of the zones had undead in it, and so they had to completely different skins for China. I hate to even
To
think
change the story for China too.
yeah. I hate to even think of what Diablo was like in China. Because, like, Diablo 3, just Diablo 3, every map has piles of bones in it. But you cannot have visible bones on screen in a video game in China.
And like, look at Overwatch. They made a lot of changes on Overwatch characters specifically for them.
Yeah. And they changed the story a lot for the Chinese audience too on a lot of the characters. Like here in America, they made Soldier 76. They made him gay. In China, he can't be gay.
Can't show bones.
Yeah. They got some. They got some strange rules.
The only thing that I'm thinking about right now is Uncharted 4, and the loading screen is just a skeleton hanging in a cage.
Yep.
Guess what? Never ended up in China.
Uncharted 4. Like a lot of games have bones, man. Like their characters or like the NPCs or not the NPCs, but the ads are just made out of bones, skeletons, and just.
China has that restriction, and they are what 40% of the gaming economy.
Even
by themselves.
Even in Call of Duty, when you blow off their limbs, like
the government deciding what's good for you. Foreshadowing,
like,
maybe.
There's like it shows like a little bit of bone hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for developers. They probably have to go through a lot of shit.
Yep.
But you also have to think about all the censorship that China wants as well. So that chat program that you have in World of Warcraft, that thing's heavily moderated. That thing's got all kinds of crazy censorship in it, so you can't even type certain things. Go on that son of a bitch and try to type like Winnie the Pooh to see what happened.
But
or was it Timon Square?
God. The only thing that I was actually appreciating that China was actually censoring was like when they were like trying to lock down whether kids under the age of 18 could play video games during the week and not. I mean, not really necessarily them play video games, but them like play online.
Let's see.
I guess. I mean, it actually was for them playing video games, but I'm like, you had
to, you had so many hours a week, and you had to log your thing in and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I think that you couldn't play like during certain days.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, good play.
And then like they had certain game restrictions for certain ages, like just across the board. Like
that is good. They
play
need
X and Y.
They needed to stick by that a little bit more. I mean, of course, like I took advantage of that when I was a kid. You know, I was like 11 trying to play Grand Theft Autos and stuff, and I loved it. It was awesome. But at the same time, I look back on it, I'm just like, Louis, this is what's wrong with our youth. They're seeing like little fucked up shit too early.
Well, I think
I turned out well.
I kind of think the opposite though. Like,
well,
you know, if you have this protective bubble around everybody, what happens when it gets penetrated? Do you have the skills to deal with that? You know, and that's kind of like, do you have the skills to deal with the hiccup in life? And that's what you do when you raise your kid.
Here's how they deal with it: you get thrown in jail for 30 years.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, right off the bat though. Like, what did they do?
China don't play
Trying
around,
to enjoy
man.
themselves.
Oh, you're talking about China. Yep, I was in American.
I missed like half that conversation.
Mindset.
Oh, American mindset? Oh, well, yeah. No. I mean...
Oh, no. China, like, if we want to discuss the level of China, like, they were filming a Disney story, like, not far from a concentration camp in China.
Active?
Yeah.
So...
Yep.
So you can't show bone, but you can film a historical Chinese document a couple miles away from a concentration camp. That's cool.
Are you showing the concentration camp? Because then it doesn't count. It doesn't exist. If you can't
I think
hear
they were.
I
actually think it's on screen somewhere. I haven't seen the movie. Like, I refuse to watch it because they didn't put in my favorite character.
Are you talking about Mulan?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll say it. If there's no show,
Mushu did not deserve to be there. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's
them fighting words there.
pretty dumb.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow. But yeah, no. I actually believe it's on screen somewhere. But it's where did they put it in the camps? Anywho, but yeah, this is back when like one of our current leader was like, we must respect their traditions and ways, and we're like, wasn't there an entire war about this that was global about 80 years ago,
where we all kind of said, no, that's not your business.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not my people. So
It's mine.
aren't we all the same people? We're all the same Earth.
Are they human beings?
Yeah.
That's all I need to know, man.
Yep. All right. Let's get off of the Chinese hit list and all right, TCP.
No, it's too late.
All right, TCP. What's going on with Martin Scorsese?
What's going on? Oh, I started considering because I saw something the other day. I'm going a little bit back and forth.
All right, first remind me who Martin Scorsese is. I know the name.
So Martin Scorsese, he's a director. Yeah, I'm actually a little insulted that you don't know. He's like one of, dude, like he is like the Steven Spielberg of mob movies. What are we talking about?
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about now.
Goodfellas?
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Godfather, all of them. So this is what I was thinking about. I saw something recently, and they were talking about like movies, and like one of my favorite fucking movies of all time, The Departed. I think that came out in 2006. Hold up, let's look it up real quick. Yep, 2006. That movie is a fucking masterpiece. It is just a beautiful fucking movie. And then I started thinking about it with like, cause like what I saw was like, it was just talking about like how the Marvel superheroes, you know, DC, whatever, like how they are kind of like taking over the cinematic experience. Like people aren't really going to watch movies that aren't that. They want this action. You know, they want the action, you know, not really in-depth plot lines, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah.
That's where I think they're wrong. I like, you're right, that's what's happening, but that's not what people want. But carry on.
It is what people want because that's what they go see. So that's what they go see. So even
what's the other option?
Even if I'm in this, like there's plenty of other movies out there, you know, to go see, but they're not doing well, and like, you know, they have to go to Netflix or whatever and streaming, and they're still not doing great. There's not really that many movies that are coming out right now that aren't really, you know, superhero or, you know, action packed, that are just doing awesome. So I think about the movie The Irishman. So I don't know if Scorsese has ever put out a fucking bad movie. I don't know that. It's kind of, I'm bad for him. But I'm also like in this group because I have not seen The Irishman. And I love his movies, and I love seeing his mob movies, but I still not seen The Irishman, and like that's kind of like where a lot of his hate started coming from, because like The Irishman did so bad, it had to go on Netflix, you know, and it's just not good.
You know, I didn't see the whole of The Irishman. I didn't get to see it all. My wife watched it. I did get to see parts of it, and I'm gonna say that he tried to do some de-aging on, you know, Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. It's not that good. Like I was like, Did you de-age them? I just kept looking at it going, when it's such a big part of the story that you have to lean on those effects. And I understand why he would, because Marvel's doing it so well these days. Mm-hmm. You need to get your effects up to your intentions. And I think maybe that might be one of the reasons that the movie, it is a good movie from what I can see. It gets a lot of love, but
it didn't get its heyday.
No, it didn't get its heyday, but it's a niche movie. That's Scorsese. Scorsese is a niche movie.
So I think about it. So as much as I love The Departed and as much as I love The Departed, and The Departed is like it's just a huge film. Everyone loved it. Everyone that I know that loved it. But I started thinking, if The Departed were to come out today, would it be as well received?
Hell no.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Not with. Okay. Would it be by people who like a good movie? Yes.
Yes, but no. This was a very popular movie when it came out. It was a very popular movie. It was a very big movie when it came out, and it was 2006, before all this. I mean, of course, they were making Spider-Mans and X-Men's and stuff like that, but it wasn't. It was before the MCU.
Like,
well, you also have a whole group of people that have
movie
written off the entirety of the movie theater. They've just gone, you know what? You haven't put anything out good that I've really enjoyed that hasn't been a Marvel movie in, say, 10 years. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to go watch no more of your shit. It'll show up on my streaming service. I don't care.
That's because the Marvel movies have really changed the way of the movie theater experience.
See-
Everyone wants to be extremely entertained. Only the Marvel movies and these superhero movies are making big money when they go to the box office.
Were making.
What's
big
the
money.
alternative? Like that is my biggest question. Like, where is the alternative to the superhero movie?
They were
There is
coming
none.
out.
Every movie that comes
there were
out
movies that were coming
is-
out, like The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse came out, and that's
I
still
like it. It
considered.
was a good movie.
Yeah, but it didn't have its heyday in the movie theaters because that's not what people wanted to go see. It's about what
See-
people wanted to go see and
I-
what people are going to see for a cinematic experience. People aren't leaving their house.
Here's my
The-
question: Is it worth it to make that movie if it's not a runaway blockbuster? If it's just liked, if you have your audience and they love it, is that enough? Because if that's not enough, if you're just hunting for blockbusters, then yeah, go fish for more Marvel.
Right.
Is-
So we're
that's all they're
so we're-
doing.
So yeah, we're talking about blockbusters and so
But,
on and so
I mean, that's
forth.
the thing,
I mean,
though.
I'm sure
Marvel's
these people
been-
that
Marvel's been losing money hand over fist since Endgame.
I wouldn't know that. Would it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
None of the
Like-
movies that have come out have broken their make money point by much. Some of them haven't.
yeah,
Like Doctor Strange is costing them money.
yeah.
Okay.
So the thing about the Marvel franchise is they wrote an amazing story that lasted 20 years.
Right.
And once Endgame was over, everybody was done with it. Like me personally, like if I see a good movie going to theater,
Everybody.
I have had zero ambition to go see a Marvel movie since then. I went and tried to go see Doctor Strange 2. I did go see that, and I almost regretted spending my money.
Fair.
Like,
Well, I mean, here's the thing: like you got that huge epic, send off of the MCU.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't you read the room a little bit and make the next stories kind of like they fit what the audience wants and not what you think? Oh, this is what fits next. Because
I mean-
at that point, you have lost your self-propelled momentum enough that you could lean on the audience to get more money. They haven't done that. They're losing money.
That's fair. I kind of look at Phase 4 as a rebuilding year because what they did with Phase 1 is they built up characters, they introduced the characters, they showed their stories. There was nothing very magnificent or significant, but they are building their stories, they're introducing more characters, and that's what they're doing with Phase 4. Introducing more characters, that will play a pivotal role down the line.
I honestly don't think it'll finish.
It doesn't matter. We'll find out.
I legitimately think
Disney will have the money they'll push through. They'll at least,
the two
they'll at least push through.
decisions that
Please
that
say.
have cost them the MCU was banking on James Gunn to run Phase 4 and then not deciding whether they want him to work for the company or not. They fired him, they rehired him, they don't know what they're doing.
Fair.
And the other one was pissing off the Russo brothers because they would have come back and look how well they did with Phase 3. If they'd have come back even halfway through Phase 4 and started tweaking things, it would have been a better phase. We would have liked these movies a little bit better. So they've shot themselves in the foot twice, and this is the result. I mean, you can keep throwing more money at it until you have a pile enough to stand on, but Jesus Christ, do you want to spend that much money?
All right. Anyway, this isn't about the Marvel movies and how successful or unsuccessful they're doing. This is about the movie The Departed. I wanted it to be about the movie The Departed. If The Departed came out today, if Godfather came out today, it would not do as well in the box office as it did when it originally came out.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, neither would Ghostbusters.
No, I think Ghostbusters would.
I don't think.
I don't think it would get
It
near
was
the
that-
love
it was
today.
Well,
that sci-fi aspect. I think it would.
Honestly, here's one thing I think they really need to stop doing is stop banking on people's nostalgia with modern day societal issues. Like that just needs to stop.
I
don't
would just
think
like
you-
to
I
see
don't
more
think you said it
movies
loud enough
that
for
weren't
people in the back.
adapted from books, comic books, another movie, a TV show. I want more original fucking movies. I don't need them to be big blockbusters. They can be like a detective movie. Just give me some original shit. I want to go to this theater for. Damn.
And, honestly, let's go back and let's do Dick Tracy.
Just thinking that.
Dick Tracy.
I literally was just thinking
That is my entire childhood just coming flooding back right now.
Let's
oh shit!
Yellow Jacket and all.
Yeah.
This man did not just say Dick Tracy.
I did.
Fuck me.
I did. You know, like Mimic was talking about, like, you know, I'm tired of them. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Disney has set fire to Star Wars. Disney has set fire to Marvel. Disney bought the right to print money, and they refused to do it. And so I'm ready for something new, and I'm ready for it to not be Disney. Like, I have lost all faith in Disney as a company. I'm not currently paying for Disney Plus. I mean, God damn it, Solibs, there it is again.
Every time, man.
Every time. Like, I'm not currently paying for Disney Plus. We have access to it, but I'm not paying for it. And I got a 5-year-old, so, you know, she needs to have access to her Frozen and her Cinderella, and
yeah, that's just required. That's the kid payment.
yeah, like, you know, and there have been a lot of good movies that they've come up with. Coco was an amazing movie.
There's another one that came out that I really liked. Was it Vivo?
Maybe?
Bevo?
I don't know if I've seen this.
It's about a
Is this the AI one?
yeah, with the monkey.
No, okay, I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, then if you haven't seen that one, it's actually pretty dope. I think it's called Vivo.
I'm just fascinated by a movie about an AI with a monkey, because my brain just went off with that shit.
No, there was a
It's
movie.
like, what?
I don't remember who it was Disney that did it. There was an animated movie that came out like within like the last year or two, talking about, it was basically the pros and cons of social media, and you, instead of having a phone, you had an AI robot companion. And
Ron's Gone Wrong.
That's it.
No, what was it?
Ron's Gone Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the Disney Plus. You know, I worked with kids for a while, and I had access to this. I let them watch that. I got to see that movie. That's the only reason I actually got to see it, because my kid's too old. And that's a really good movie. And you know, I was like, damn, like, I'm glad I let them watch this. Like, usually they made me watch stuff that I wanted to shoot myself over.
So the one thing I liked about that they don't do a lot recently, it was actually about rebuilding your family. That is not a story you get anymore. And I mean, we're gonna that's more of a societal thing and not really a topic we typically cover on this show. But you know, things are
it's different. There's nothing different in the theater. That's the whole point of this conversation of why The Departed may or may not work today. The Departed is different. Would it get enough people in? Like, would people have enough faith in a Scorsese movie in a theater in the midst of all the unoriginal bullshit to think maybe Scorsese's being original this time?
Yeah, I would like to see, like I said, I want to see, I want to see, like you said, I want to see something new, and I want to see it done by not Marvel, by not Disney.
Yeah.
I know Disney owns 50% of everything, but you know, I mean, that last, I mean, once again, you know, still banking on Marvel, but that last Spider-Man movie was amazing. But if you didn't watch all of the originals, then you wouldn't know what's going on.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then
I put the movie in the chat.
Yeah, but what that Spider-Man movie was just a nostalgia shot.
It was
just them going like, "This is what you want. Here it is. Like, will you pay for it?" And people were like, "Fuck yeah, I'll pay for it."
Fan service, but still with a plot.
Yeah. I mean, but it still had a good plot. Like, it was still, you know, it was trying
when you listen to your fans, when you actually listen to what they're saying and not the general consensus, you actually get a movie like that where you deliver something for the fans that's really good.
Yeah.
But you have to take that extra time, and some people don't. I don't think they think that's worth it.
Well, like, even Disney's come out and they were like, yeah, on the sequel trilogy we had no target, no thing. Like, Disney is admitting this now. They're like, yeah, the sequel trilogy for Star Wars was an absolute disaster. We had 3 different writer teams that didn't talk to each other across the 3 movies. You know, we had director issues.
2 writer teams over 3 movies.
Yeah. which didn't talk to
Basically,
each other.
the sequels was two directors arguing over whose idea of Star Wars was right.
And both of them were wrong.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted a strong female lead, which I'm just like, then read the books. Because you had two that come after the original trilogy. You had Mara Jade and her daughter. Like, you know, you had the twins. You had Jason and Jaina. Like, there's your strong female leads. That would have led into you having an entire freaking universe that you could go play and print money with. But they decided to go...
And one of the things that pisses me off most about the sequel trilogy, and this isn't a direct fault of Disney, but Carrie's gone. We cannot get a sequel movie with all three of them on the screen together ever.
No.
And that actually upsets the shit out of me. Because, you know, when they said they're coming back, I was like, okay, you know, it may or may not be that we'll get them all together at the first, or not the first movie. I knew that going.
And it just never happened.
Yeah, I was like, we're going to get them together. Even after the ending of the first one, I was like, they'll get a shot with all three of them. It'll be fine. Never happened. Because it couldn't happen. Life happened. So, you know, but that actually upsets me, and I'm sure that upsets a lot of other fans, because, like, that was your chance. That was your chance to give the fans the one thing they kind of wanted, to give them the original crew to wave at them as they went off into the sunset. We didn't get that.
Yep. All right. So we're going to stop that there.
So, the one last thing that I was going to add for that was, even though, like, I saw, like, earlier about the Martin Scorsese thing, another actor was just like, you know, Martin Scorsese, he does put out very great movies, and he, you know, did run the show for a while. But the thing is with those movies is they're pretty whitewashed. And so that also made me, like, reconsider, like, the whole thing. I was just like, his movies are very whitewashed. Whereas, you know, with Marvel and other movies, they're giving other ethnic backgrounds a very strong chance.
Well, I'm not gonna say that, like, oh, we shouldn't have people that are appropriate, because that's not cool. But at the same time, where's your focus? Is your focus the story, or is it the people that are there to help you tell the story, whatever story you cobble together? And I think the difference is that Marvel cares more about the people that are there to have that authentic, rather than the story itself entertain, versus Scorsese, who cares more about the story entertaining than actually being authentic. And I think you can argue all day over who's right, but that's just two different mentalities.
Other than that, we can move on.
I mean, that's an entire show right there. Yeah, because, like, I mean, if you're trying to have an authentic period piece, then there's certain things that, you know, but at the same time, I don't like.
And I don't want to hear authenticity from anybody who's like, oh, I love all these characters in all these comic movies. Because when's the last one that looked like me actually made it off the page?
I mean, the shadow's there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
See, they get drawn like me, and when they end up on the screen, they all look like Wild. Like, Wild is my evolution. Like, we're Pokemon, and he's the next me. That's how this shit works.
Oh, there's a
Wild's gonna play John Smith in the Pocahontas live action adaptation.
Hey.
There was a joke.
And we bitch about that shit, but, like, when they made the original Daredevil movie, who complained about the Kingpin? Because, like,
not a damn soul.
I didn't complain about
that
Kingpin.
dude killed it.
Nobody cared that. God, fucking Michael Clark Duncan.
Nobody gave a damn. Michael Clark Duncan was the fucking man.
Like, Michael Clark Duncan was one of the actors that you could have him show up as any character in any franchise, and everybody like, okay.
He's playing Blue in Blue's Clues. All right, that's good.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
Right.
Like,
Make this motherfucker blue and just tell him to bark at people. I'll watch it.
No animation necessary.
Yep.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Here's my $10.
like, but there's very few actors that are.
That is the quality of an actor, though, and
Yeah.
we talked, about that stuff. Actors have quality. You got to cast the right people.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like Michael Clark Duncan, like, they cast the right dude for that role. He's supposed to be white. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong.
Because
Like,
when he showed up on screen, you're like, yeah, I'm afraid of this motherfucker.
mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna jump to the next topic here. So I'm gonna forewarn you. So we are going to be talking about God of War spoilers. If you do not want spoilers, leave now. Also, if you guys here in the show do not want spoilers, you are free to go. So, like, Solops, I don't know if you've beat it yet or not.
I actually went out of my way to beat the game this past week when I was sick.
All right. TCP, get your ass back in here.
What, man? I'm here. Calm down. Damn it, Jesus, I just gotta go refresh.
Let's see. Mimic, do you care?
I don't care.
Okay, and Wild, you don't even have a PlayStation, so you're stuck.
Damn it. Wish you told me.
Yeah, I actually played a little bit of the first God of War this week, so I'm getting there.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
go grab something there. He'll be right back.
All right.
Well, I mean, he's not pivotal. He's not pivotal to the story, so we're.
Yeah, true. All right, so three of us have played and or beat it. Mimic is still working on the first game, and Wild doesn't have a
I got the
PlayStation.
light in Alfheim. Like, that's how far I got.
Yeah, you got a ways to go there. All right.
Anyway,
I had to start over. I was further, but like when you don't play something for a while, you get back. You're like, where the fuck am I? What's going on? So you have to start over.
Yeah.
His goldfish brain, he'll forget everything we talk about in a little bit. We'll be
Yeah. Goldfish brain. All right.
I have that sometimes. I'm sitting here smoking weed. What do you want?
All right. So I am going to change my review score. I originally gave it a 8.5. I'm going to give it a solid 9. So I can't give it a 10. I cannot give it a 10. It was not perfect, but I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. So we finally saw, the end and how things were going to go. And how did you guys feel about the ending? Like,
Depends what part of the ending you're talking about.
It was a little rushed. It was kind of like we were working our way up, and then all of a sudden, it's fucking right and wrong. It's time to get it. It's time to get shit done.
So the question I have is,
talking about the last 3 hours.
Yeah. So, what was everybody else over leveled for the final fight?
Of course, I literally did absolutely every single thing I could do.
Yeah. I think
I even looked up. I got to the point where I was looking up shit like, can I do this without beating the game? And I figured out what I could not do. I could tell what was hidden on the map.
Mm-hmm.
That it wasn't unlocking until I had beaten the game. So I had knocked out everything until.
Okay. I think I'm like 3 triumphs away from platinuming it. Or sorry, 3 achievements from platinuming.
Also, another thing that we should talk about, like, Sony games have been very easy to platinum recently.
This one's not easy to platinum.
This one is easy to platinum. It's one playthrough, very quickly. You don't even have to look up you don't even have to look up the trophies to platinum it.
Yeah, but you got to be a completionist to do it.
Yes, you just have to be a completionist. Where like other trophies is like, oh, during this one area you need to, headshot, 10 enemies within, a certain amount of time. Or like you have to use this ability, to do this. There have been plenty of trophies within other games where they're like, oh shit, this is gonna take me like 2 or 3 playthroughs to get every trophy.
I think the only game that was easier to platinum for me, well, there was a couple of games that were a lot easier to platinum for me, like Ghost of Tsushima. There's only one.
Just one playthrough. Oh, yeah. Ghost of Tsushima wasn't even one playthrough, I don't think.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Because there was one I didn't get, and it was just kicked off a cliff.
I don't chase trophies. I don't chase achievements. I don't care about platinum. That's not my thing.
Right. I don't do that anymore. But that's what makes me know that how easy it is to platinum, because like I'm not trophy hunting anymore.
But I like on the idea of a concept of like one playthrough you can get it if you play on the highest difficulty and bust ass. Like I like that idea.
It's not a thing, because it's like.
See, in the old God of Wars, and the old God of Wars, you had to do the higher difficulties. This one, you don't have to. You can actually get every achievement on the easiest difficulty.
Oh, damn. See, I assume you get everything except, like, that last achievement of, like, you have to beat it on the the hardest difficulty to get that last one or whatever.
Yeah.
And unlike God of War 4, which is the 2018 one, where you could beat the game, and like you get all the trophies and everything on any difficulty, but you had to beat it on Give Me God of War difficulty to get the shield variants. You could get different shield colors, and I don't think this one has that.
I don't know. I mean, and also, we'll probably get more later on it.
Actually, I looked it up, and I looked at other people that had already beaten it on Give Me God of War. They're like, yeah, I didn't get anything.
Okay. All right. So, on me, I'm not an achievement hunter. I just want to have the rarest achievements. Like when I get an achievement pop up, I want to see only 3% of players have gotten this. Just for the bragging.
I'm not an achievement hunter, but when I see the achievement pop up,
I don't want all the achievements. I just want the rare ones.
Yeah. It's just
I want my
you're not an achievement hunter. You're a rarity hunter.
Yeah.
I mean,
even so. Okay.
Platinum God of War. I think only 2.4% have it right now.
Yeah,
which is still high for platinums.
I'm gonna go back to it. It was just one of those. The way it ended, I'm just kind of like, okay, I can walk away from this for a while. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the way it ended, because that's going to lead into my next topic, into the future of the God of War franchise. So we have Atreus. He, him and his girlfriend, they fuck off to go have adventures. All right, and then. Did you guys pay attention to the final cutscene where he actually walks around to the back and he opens up the other prophecy, and it shows
that is nothing new to me, but continue. Even when they showed it, I was like, all right, cool,
yeah,
good to go, bud.
So they gave the impression that this was Kratos' last hurrah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
No, okay,
it's not really what I got out of it.
Yes and no. It's. I knew going in beforehand it was not his last hurrah. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Continue your statement.
Well, I mean, I will say this: if it was going to be his last hurrah, don't you think it would be all over the marketing?
No. I mean, no. And it was. It kind of was. So this, I didn't want to steal your thunder, Griff. I don't want to steal your thunder so bad.
Go for it. What are you gonna say?
So they did market this game. They said when they announced this game, they're not making the Norse mythology. They're not making it a 3-parter. They said they were making it a 2-parter, and they said that Ragnarok will be the end of the Norse mythology. Of course, a lot of dumb fucks were like, "Oh shit, it's the end of God of War. This is the last of it. Last." So this is dumb. Anyway, talking about what you're talking about with the last panel and cutscene. I knew this shit a long fucking time ago. Everyone knew this shit. Everyone that was really into God of War, that's not coming onto it right now, knew this shit a long time ago. So the last panel that you saw, where he's looking at the last little thing or whatever, and it's showing him and it's showing the people worshiping him, and it's got a lot of Egyptian influence. The color of his skin, he's in gold. The boots that he's wearing, him on a little platform with people raising him up.
See, I didn't see that. Of
Egypt. That's what I thought you were talking about. So it's got a lot of
Egyptian. I saw that. Where he was
Mm-hmm.
getting worshipped, but I didn't see any Egyptian theme in that.
Oh, him having gold skin, that's very Egyptian.
He
the
didn't
way
have
that
gold
his
skin, he was white.
No, he had gold skin.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yep.
There was some sort of gold coloring in there.
Mm-hmm. The way that they showed his feet, the way they showed his feet, he at first I kind of thought it was Roman at first, but I was like, no, that's Egyptian. It's he's wearing these sandals. It was Egyptian style. The artistic style of it was slightly off. It wasn't kind of really Norse. It was very Egyptian. People were holding him up on a platform, like what they do with Egyptian gods, and also worshiping him. But I knew a long time ago, and Santa Monica Studios said this shit a long fucking time ago. I knew they were going to Egypt at some point.
Yeah, no,
we all knew they were going to Egypt.
That 100% I agree with. They've been hinting at that. They were hinting at 4 other locations to go through in the last game.
In the first game, they were hinting at a lot of Egyptian artifacts, like when he finds the panel of the God of War and the God of War symbols and everything, and it shows.
And then there was there was one for India, and there was.
This should go on for a while, but what I'm referring to is back when Santa Monica, or the directors of God of War 4 were pitching to the Santa Monica studio heads, they didn't know whether they wanted to go Norse. They had already written storylines for Norse, and they had already written storylines for Egypt.
Yeah.
And they literally did not know. It was literally the second before their deadline that they had to have a decision for the studio heads. It was literally like, they said like within 15 seconds, they're like, hey guys, what are we doing? And they're just like, fuck it, just do Norse. We're doing Norse.
Okay.
And that's how they made the decision to do Norse mythology.
Okay. So no, that part I'm 100% fine with. The thing though that I got out of that last panel, and the way he was acting as he walked away, because he was getting all choked up about it, was like, I never thought that this could happen to me, and me be a benevolent ruler. Because
he never thought he could be worshipped. He never thought he would be a god that people would pray to, and that's when Zeus hit him with that shit a long time ago, and then Odin hit him with that shit in their final battle. He's like, you've never been a guy that people looked up to you and prayed to you. You've never had that happen.
So
he knows when he goes to Egypt, he's gonna go do some crazy shit in Egypt.
That's one thing though. Is like, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to stay back in Midgard and rebuild. I think the rest of the franchise is going to be Atreus. I think
I don't think so. That's kind of like what I thought too. Like when you play as Atreus a lot, and at first I didn't like it. I was like, I accepted it. And I knew it was going to happen. I was like, I don't want to play as Atreus, especially when I noticed that like his abilities like don't have as much benefit. You know, you can unlock his abilities, but they don't have like much scalability or whatever. So I'm like, it won't be that long. I know I'm going to focus mostly on Kratos, but I still don't like playing as Atreus. It's not that I don't like it. It's just whatever.
Playing as him felt like a gimmick, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like when you're playing Spider-Man. You got to play as Mary Jane or Miles Morales here and there. You know, playing Last of Us, you got to play as Ellie for a couple quick missions. Just kind of give you some variety or whatever. But I don't think the rest of the franchise is going to be focused on Atreus.
I think
maybe story wise, I don't think you're gonna take over playing as Atreus.
I think your best bet here would to take a book from the old school BioWare. You make a couple of DLCs for Ragnarok that lets you play as Atreus as like miniature storylines. How would you like a couple hours of Atreus for like $15? And they upgrade the shit out of his skill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And so you got a better Atreus experience for a few hours for like $15. Like, would you try it out? Would you be willing to give it that $15 to try it if they handed it to you?
See, for me, I don't play God of War to play a character that's not God of War. I play God of War to play Kratos.
Right.
Like, if they
that's where people got butthurt with The Last of Us too.
But if you were going to have this thing where wanted to have like a branching another character, like you wanted to have an Atreus line and you want to have a Kratos line,
like, so
you can have your God of War and you can have the son of the God of War series, whatever.
Like I think like Atreus is going to have his own story, his own game. Like that,
I can see that. Call it Son of War.
Which is why I would try to figure some of that out and just throw it in as DLC now and like, all right, well, this is what they liked, this is what they didn't like. Work on this so when we make his game, we can make it better.
With the way that he was talking at the end, though, he's like, hey, we're going to rebuild and we're going to make this what it was supposed to be. Like, he was talking about, like, basically settling down. And
he knows his adventure is not over yet because he still saw that panel and he knows the Giants have been right for foreshadowing or, predicting where they would be. So he knows he's going to go to other lands and do some good stuff, but he knows in the meantime, like, he'll help rebuild Midgard and turn it into what it can be. He will probably, have a couple people. He already has people worshiping him there. Doesn't matter. But then the story, people are already worshiping him. They know that he's Kratos. They know that he was the general that led the armies against, Odin and so on and so forth. But I totally forgot where I was going.
I don't know.
Well, from a story perspective, like from this, you can make a good story of, oh yeah, he's gonna stay. That's what he wants to do. He wants to stay there. Make the next game 50 years later or something.
Where I was going.
Where like maybe he's being worshipped there and he goes to Egypt because he has to do something for them. So
Atreus
his new
is
direction is,
Atreus is traveling and he's trying to find the other giants. So I imagine Atreus' travels will find him in Egypt, and he will call Father for help. And then Kratos will go and lay down the fucking law.
No way.
Ooh, can you imagine him getting a Khopesh as a fucking? Oh my god, that would be so bad. That would be a badass weapon for him to fucking have. He would.
You know, it'd be kind of interesting. You know how they write God of War. Something. I mean, I could be very wrong in this. This isn't his last hurrah. In the very next game, they could be like something could happen, and he just goes and chops down Idrisil just to end it all. Like, I mean, that's how they write Kratos.
I mean, he's a little bit more level-headed. I mean,
as long as they keep Christopher Judge's voice,
Yeah, he's doing a really good job.
They've had a different.
And they've bent themselves sideways to accommodate him with the surgery and everything. So yeah, I assume they're going to keep.
They had different voice actors for every single God of War until God of War 4 and 4 and 5.
Well, I mean, he really didn't need to be voiced before. I mean, they just needed a guy to come in and just go, yeah.
Just guy to come in and scream, just ah.
Hey, you didn't even need a voice actor. You literally could have gotten a dude from accounting to come in who's just got a gravelly voice and just be like, all right, I want you to get as angry at everybody as you are at your boss. Go.
Get the guy that runs the postal room.
Yeah. The janitor.
But I don't know. Like, they could go multiple ways with it. Like, this could have been like, this is Kratos' retirement. The next game could be a world builder game with just Kratos sitting on a throne.
Well, I don't want to play as Atreus. Like you.
Well, see, that kind of ties in though. Like, they have invested in Christopher Judge as an actor. He's a good actor, much less a good voice actor. So obviously they want to make him more than just, I want to die and I want to kill everyone with me.
Actually, fun part is he wasn't just the voice actor. He was actually also the mocap.
I mean, cool. He did the motion capture. He wasn't the character model though. They had an NFL player. He actually ended up committing suicide that they used for his character model. Yeah, and then they had a third guy do all the stunts.
Like, they had the one guy who was doing all the combat motions and all that. But yeah, for all the cutscenes and all that, they used Christopher Judge for mocap.
It's good acting. Like, you even watching the beginning of the first one, all those quiet moments where like he reaches for him and doesn't quite do it and just backs up. Like, that's good acting.
Yeah. And there's a lot of character growth and from the first one to this one, because all those moments where he reaches out, in this one he actually goes all the way. Like, I mean, just little things like that, like storyline wise, character growth wise, it was amazing. Because also, you also have to look at it from a Kratos perspective. Atreus doesn't know Kratos' history. Atreus doesn't know that Kratos had a family. Atreus doesn't know why his dad is so damn pale.
I was gonna say the same thing. He's sitting there and like, they were traveling in Vanaheim, and Freya was just like, "You don't know the what it is to have a loss of a child." I expected him to be like, "Bitch, please.
Yeah. I
murdered my own wife and child. I am covered in the ashes for the rest of my life. Yes, I know what it's fucking like."
Yeah.
I expected him to just give it to her.
Like, he let her have it a little bit. Like, that was one of those moments where I stopped the boat. I'm just like, we are listening to this conversation.
Oh, there's times, like I told you, like there was times where I was climbing through, and all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna stop climbing just because I want to hear the rest of that conversation. And it was the conversation when he was talking about Calliope.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, he's just like, my father. It's like the god I was serving at the time. My father, unknown to me, tricked me into murdering an entire village where my wife and child were. And as soon as I got to them and murdered them, their ashes went and covered my skin.
Yeah. So, like,
which also makes me think: do you think Faye knew that he was covered in the ashes of his wife and child? Because, like, what is intercourse like for that? Because it's just like, oh yes, do me Kratos. It's like, as I rub your wife and child.
All right, now you're just.
Do the ashes stop at a certain point? Like,
no, they don't. We all played 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Well, so here's
1, 2, and 3. He runs around in a loincloth.
Yeah. So here's the real question: like when you're going with that, like when you're talking about his relationship with Faye, like she obviously knew, and she's still. I would like to get to know her. I know she's gone. I know that some of the impetus of the first
I
game.
do know her. As soon as she came on screen, I was like, Deborah Ann Wall, know it. As soon as she came out, I was like,
in the second game, Kratos has flashbacks and visions with her. So like you actually
that will motivate me to get through the first game because that was one of the reasons that I kind of ground out on the first one.
Yeah.
I really wanted to know about her because she was fascinating to me after about 5 or 6 hours. Like I wanted to know who tamed this motherfucker.
I really didn't want to see. I didn't want to see her. I had this own vision of her in my head.
I didn't need a game of her. I didn't need a movie. I just needed pieces. Just I needed to see something with my own eyes.
They do that. They do that in the second game. It's just a few pieces. Okay. She doesn't have a lot of screen time. It was like
that's fine.
Pieces. But like even so, like her character model is not what I expected. I mean, she's gorgeous because it's Deborah Ann Wall. She's just gorgeous, and it's just I'm just like, but it's also so not what I expected for Kratos at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
the other thing that they do is there's an entire zone dedicated to her whooping Thor's ass.
It's an entire world.
Yeah. There's an entire map in the game that all of the dialogue is about her getting into a bar fight and whooping Thor's ass.
Yeah. And like I remember like playing the game for the first time, and like after I beat it, I went back and I started my playthrough on Give Me God of War mode. And you're getting in that fight with Thor, and he says some shit. He's like, "Oh, this is very familiar," and I'm like, "Oh shit, he's referencing the bar fight."
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I think that works for every game. Like we've talked about that. Like we talked about Darktide earlier. We've talked about this game now. Those little side conversations that you get between characters are what really turns up your interest in these games.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I never thought a riddle would hit me so fucking hard. I fucking love riddles, and as soon as
did they ever answer that one?
Oh, so you did not beat the game?
I did.
You didn't.
What did I miss?
Oh, you haven't 100%. You haven't 100%ed everything. My bad. Oh shit, my bad. I totally just fucked that up for you. I'm so sorry.
Oh shit.
I am so sorry.
Spoil it for me. Spoil it for me.
You really want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as Brock hit him with that riddle, I know that riddle. So I was like, oh, it's a hole. It's a hole. And, you know, the more you take away, the bigger it gets. It's a hole. So I knew that, like, and they were playing with that throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
And we was always taking guesses, like not only like while you're playing through, like you know, during the boat parts, you know, just like walking around, but like also during some of the cutscenes, right? And then after Brock dies, it's like it's only something that you can do after you finish the main story. It's his funeral. You go to Brock's funeral.
Oh, okay.
After you say his
I haven't done
goodbyes.
that yet. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Mimir's just like out of nowhere, Mimir's just like a hole.
Huh.
And he's like, he answers the riddle, and Kratos is like, well, he's like, that's the answer to it. I fucking wept like a fucking baby. I cried so hard, but I just start crying right now, man. Don't look at me.
Hey, does what's his name? Does his brother calm down?
No, Sindri's a fucking savage.
Dude,
I have never seen anyone so furious. He's about to be the next God of War. That dude is on a fucking rampage. That is he does not calm down. He does not calm down.
Dude.
It's pretty impressive to see his character flip out like that, though.
I know, right? Yeah. Like ever after Brock dies, like every time you see him, he's just covered in blood.
Yeah,
he's just covered in blood, and
he's like more
the biggest germaphobe ever, and he's just covered in fucking blood. He does not give a fuck. He is in straight savage mode. He is just like even like Kratos, like even at the funeral, like he says some fucking savage shit to Kratos. I was like, ooh, I'm scared of this motherfucker now.
Oh damn. Okay, so I gotta go do that. So that was one of the few things I didn't do, because like they also opened up some of the Valkyries and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do any of that. I just beat the story and I shut it off. But damn, now I gotta hop back into that.
Yeah, you have to go beat them. There's realm tears. You have to do pieces of Asgard fall in the realm. Those aren't really hard. Some of them are like decent, but I mean like you're already overpowered, so
Yeah. No, like some of those, like when you first come across the gravestone fights, some of those were holy shit.
Some of those were stupid fucking hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I have to come back and do this, man. I was fucking.
Yeah. Like,
and there was.
I was level like 8.5 when I beat it, and I still came across some of them where I'm just like, I gotta turn this down.
Yeah, you can't get to 9. You can't beat the game at 9 because to upgrade some of the axe pieces, you need the pieces of Asgard.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was wondering why. So.
Yeah. I think it's for like the axe pommel, and I feel like there was something else. I think it's just.
I almost feel like this is one of those like gaming moments where you made it harder on yourself because you're like, I shouldn't have been doing this right now.
Dude, I
really was. I was in the middle of a Berserker fight, and I was so fucking pissed because I was like, I kept dying, and I was like, I know I just need. So, I was like level. I can't really remember what levels. I'll just say I was level 7, and I had a chest piece that I needed to upgrade, and as soon as I upgraded, I was gonna be level 8. I needed like fucking 200 hack silver to do it. Like I think it was like $2,000. And like I had already like completed everything, and I was just like, I'm not gonna spend my time. I'm gonna go around and hunt down 200 hack silver like in random fights, just so I can upgrade this one piece. I'm gonna fucking fight this fucking berserker fight. I'm like, and I just couldn't fucking win. They wouldn't let me. I was like, fucking goddamn it. I was so pissed, and I ran off. And I started completing like a little bit more of the story, and as soon as I got to 2,000 hack silver, I ran back to the shop, upgraded my fucking chest piece, got to the next level, and then went back to that berserker fight and beat that motherfucker in like 30 seconds. It was fucking unbelievable how much difference that made.
Wow. Some of them, like I would sit there and I would die to it 10 times, and the one time I beat it, they never laid a finger on me.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was. This motherfucker was just smacking me around. I was coming very close several times, but he was just smacking me around. I was like, all I know I need to do is upgrade this one fucking piece. And as soon as I go to the next level, I'm gonna go fucking smack this motherfucker. But I didn't.
I had that exact same problem many years ago with Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I wanted an upgrade for the ship, and I didn't know where else to get it because I didn't feel like pirating for like a day and a half. So I was like, I'm gonna go get one of these little Phantom ships on the edge of the quarter. I'm gonna go grab one of these because I'll get a big upgrade. Yeah, let's go do this. Man, I spent 2.5 hours fighting the first one. And like I got so much upgrade from that. The rest of them, cake.
Yeah, so, I mean, I had smoked everything in the area, or like I had smoked everything like in the game that I could do. So I knew that there was no way for me to get any more hacks over unless I continued the story, and I didn't want to continue the story. I wanted to beat the Berserker fight before continuing the story, and I was like, fuck it. Because I think it was like also one of those times where I was just like, oh, return to Sindri's house, and like it was gonna be like a long ass cutscene, gonna take me to a role that I didn't want to be in for like a long time. But like I got lucky and like I found a fucking chest and I smashed it open and it was like 1984 hacks over. I was like, oh, fucking perfect. That's exactly what I fucking needed.
So, I mean, Solips, what was your final take on it? I mean, where would you rate it at?
For me personally, it's a little different for how I judge the game. Now the story I thought was great. I mean, just like you guys, like the acting's phenomenal, voice acting phenomenal. Even the story direction, I would say, was pretty decent because it just felt very forward in every way that it was going. But I personally had gripes with the gameplay. As a Dark Souls player. And any game that takes the Dark Souls formula and tries to put it in another game, I'm going to judge it a little harshly. And, personally, I did not enjoy the combat. It's not saying that the combat's bad. I just personally didn't like it. I felt very frustrated with it. I felt like some of the enemies, it took way too much to do damage to them. And I didn't feel like, as the God of War, I didn't feel like I was as powerful as I felt like I should have been. But that's also just my personal gripe. Other than that, I mean, I'd say it was a pretty good game, but there were things that I wanted to do. Like I wish Kratos was a little faster. It felt very sluggish playing as him, compared to, say, Elden Ring or something where I could customize my character and make him any way I want to. But aside from stuff like that, I think those are only gripes that I'm gonna have. I don't think too many other people are going to feel that way about it.
I mean, it's it's nice to get a different take though. Like you know, when it came to gameplay, like me and TSP will be on the same boat on this one. Like, this was phenomenal. Like, there were aspects that were just rehashes of the last one. But there were times.
Well, he does bring up a good point though. Like, I can see the want for like some intermittent. Like, I don't want to have to fight this hard to beat something. Like, let me beat the shit out of a few things for a while.
Yeah, and plus, like, a lot of the enemies that you fight against, sometimes, I swear to God, they felt like they were too fast. Like, they would all just start ganging up on you, and it doesn't feel like you have a lot of room to, like, dodge out of the way very quickly without just immediately getting hit by something else.
Me and a buddy had that, you know, especially with the Berserker fights, because the Berserker fights, they definitely wall off the arena.
Yeah.
Some of the Berserker fights, we felt the arena was too small, because like I definitely would be fighting and I'm like, hold up, I need to block, I need to back up, and all of a sudden I'm against the back wall, and I'm just like, oh, that's not great.
So
and being forced to block was something else that I kind of hated. Like, it seems like the combat was tailored in a way where it expects you to do something very specific when an enemy's coming at you. Like if the red circle is around them, you're supposed to dodge out of the way. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If it's a yellow circle, you're supposed
dodge
to
or
block.
interrupt. Yeah, it's dodge or interrupt.
No, if it's a yellow circle, you have to perfect parry it, because if you just straight block it, like if you block too early, so that's one thing that really pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because like if you block too early, it would stagger you for like a little bit, and no matter how hard you tried, like their next attack was gonna hit you. There was nothing you could fucking do about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, roll out of the fucking way. And I was just sitting there smashing next. I'm like, fucking roll, do something, recover.
I ended up putting on all
give you no recovery time.
Yeah, I ended up putting on all the gear that increases your parry time. So that way, like, my parry was always on point.
I actually did not have a good build.
The other thing that probably made the game a little harder for me is that I didn't actually do everything. I very much rushed through the story just to get all the story beats, or like the main stuff. Because, I mean, all the side content I was kind of interested, but a lot of it, as the side mission was about to start, I'm like, do I really need to know this information? Is it really going to help me understand more of the story? Maybe in some sense, sure, but a lot of it, I just didn't feel like it was worth my time, personally. Especially when I could just go watch a YouTube video.
You're right in that a lot of the side stuff doesn't impact the main story. It's all about, like, lore and world building. So
I would assume it'd be like the same thing as like the side missions in like The Witcher. You don't have to do them, but some of them are kind of entertaining.
You can get some good gear out of it.
Yeah, like
there's a lot of stuff I missed, but at the same time, though, I didn't feel like I needed any of that stuff to beat the game.
You don't, and that's one of the ways they built it.
You really don't. And that's also something I noticed. Like, you know, as soon as like you get to the end, and what's her name? She's like, "Oh, I made some new armor for you," and like you have that armor, like it's like level 6 armor, you know, and it's free to craft for both the chest, wrist, and waist pieces. I'm just like, oh, well, that's good to know. Just like for when I play through on a harder difficulty, like give me God of War, because like some of the side shit you're not gonna be able to complete because it's just gonna be too fucking hard. It's just gonna be too fucking hard. So you're just gonna get through the story, you know, and then getting through the story, you know, once you get to that part, you're just like, at least I have some gear that I'll have a chance at least.
Did you guys notice that if you max out pieces of armor, you can transmog it?
I never got that far.
I noticed that today. Actually, I went back. They must have just added it, because I did not see that shit before.
I had it. Yeah, I was using it because when what's her name gives you that set, I just transmog to it. 'Cause I'm like, it's like, oh, this is shitty compared to what I'm wearing, so I'm just gonna transmog it.
I noticed that today.
I like the look of the set. I just didn't want to, you know, wear it.
Right. Yeah. So I actually think I had it. Like, as I think back about it, I think I had a shitty build, because like the ones that I used, it was the ones for the last minute dodge and realm shift. So that was, yeah, it was not great.
No,
it was not great. they were weaker armors, but I wanted Realm Shift so fucking bad.
Realm Shift
is so nice. I love it.
It is when it happens, but to make a build around it, you got to time everything perfectly. I went with the set that the one where you had to go fight all the giants for. Sorry, not all the giants, all the
Berserkers?
No, not the Berserkers. Trolls, all the ones you had to go fight all the trolls for with the giant rocks. Yeah, the set bonus is when you become low on life, all of your attacks leech life.
Okay.
And you basically become immortal.
No. The gear set that you get from the Muspelheim Crucible, completing that Crucible, like, I fucking love that. That was actually good. And like you build up your emotion and permafrost and stuff a lot faster. I was like, fuck yeah.
That is,
so, like,
the aesthetic of that set was nice.
That yeah, it looks nice, and like I like doing that too, because like it's as soon as you can start like fucking them up with like runic attacks and like just like environmental attacks, that's like I was like, that's some key shit.
Yeah,
but I went back. So what I did today is like I went back because like a buddy reminded me like you can get some axe pommels and blade pommels and like the end of the spear that will, when you do L1 and triangle, it activates Realm Shift.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit! I saw those, but like I didn't have enough material to upgrade them, so like I would have to decrease my level to put them on to use them, and I didn't want to do that. So that's why like I mostly stuck to the gear that I had to keep my level very high, so I could still be powerful.
Yeah. But all right,
like,
let's go ahead and wrap this up. We've been going on for 2 hours, man.
Hey man, we can talk.
Yeah,
I mean, I've literally just reset my PlayStation password. I already done logged in. I already been looking at God of War. I already got it like in my cart. Like, there's a lot of things that I've been doing. Cause I'm like, this is just making me want to play it even more.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. I know Mimic, like he didn't really give the first one a go because the gameplay wasn't for him. So, but now that we're talking about the story and how good the story gets, and he's, from what I understand, you're a fan of the story of the first 4 or first 3, right? So it just, it's even if you don't like the gameplay, it's worth it for the story.
But I do like the concept of the first 3 games because it's not really a fleshed out story, but the idea that somebody like can get that wrong, then decide, well, you know what, fuck it. Like, what happens if I just put it all on the table and let's go? Like that's what God of War is.
Yeah.
The story of God of War 4 is also like why it's one of my favorite games. The story is it's so great, and even still, like, the story of God of War 4 is so great because of who Kratos used to be in 1, 2, and 3, and to see his transition and how he is trying to teach his child. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a father-son story, but like how he's trying to teach him, and like
I think that
you can see it in the beginning of the first game because like he grabs him and he's telling him, don't let your rage, control you. That's why he didn't want to take him up the mountain to begin with. Yeah. Because he was angry.
It's very much a story of growth.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Ragnarok is definitely like a coming of age story for Atreus. But it is definitely being a parent. That game does hit a lot closer to home. Like you're gonna see moments in there, and you're gonna understand 100% what's going on, just because you're a parent. And yeah, so, but all right, let's wrap this up.
I mean, the first one hits like that because you have those moments. You're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all for coming out and watching. Hope you had a good time. We'll catch you next week.